All right, folks, welcome back on this 14th anniversary of 9/11. And just a second, we'll be joined by the man who was governor of New York State during those attacks, Governor George Pataki, who's also Republican presidential candidate right now. But I want you to all watch, and the governor will watch as well, this phone call between President George W. Bush, the governor, and then Mayor Giuliani, I believe.
First of all, I can't tell you how sad I am and America is for the people of New York City and the tri-state area. I want to let you know there's a quiet anger in America that really is real. Every world leader I've talked to in recent days has been impressed by what they have seen about our nation and the fabric of our nation. And I want to thank everybody when I come, so thank you for your hospitality.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for coming to New York. I'm sure that's going to be a great inspiration to all of us, and particularly those thousands of men and women still downtown trying to help us with the rescue efforts. I also want to thank you for all the help we've gotten from the federal government. It's been tremendous, and for your words. You are right. Our nation is united as never before, and we will triumph over this evil with your leadership and your inspiration.
All right, joining us now is Governor George Pataki. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you,
very solemn day and solemn occasion. That was the day or so before the president came and made that famous speech through the bullhorn on the ground of the World Trade Center.
I remember that call so well. It was the first time publicly that the President and Mayor Giuliani and I had all together communicated to the American people. And of course, I remember the next day when spirits were starting to lag down at Ground Zero, and he just really inspired everyone with faith in themselves, faith in America, and belief that we were going to not just get through this, but surpass it.
I hear you, and one day people who knocked down those towers will hear from all of us. That was iconic.
And we kept that bullhorn. And after President Bush left office, I presented it to him, and it's now in his presidential library in Texas.
That's great. That is great. I know it's a hard day for you, as it is for so many, and do you feel like you relive it over and over for now the 14th time?
Absolutely. It's just a very sad day for me, and I'm sure for thousands and thousands of others. And there will be, as is always the case on September 11th, thousands of family members who come back to remember the loved one they lost and to help mourn and remember them. And it's just a very sad day for all of us, for all of Americans. And yet it's a day when I think we can take pride, as the President said there and as I said, about how unified Americans were and how we believed that when we stood together we were going to get through this, and we got through it. And to me it's very sad today, 14 years later, that we seem to be so divided and not able to accomplish anything. We have to recapture that sense of unity.
Now, Dick Cheney said that it's now long enough, 14 years, that many people don't actually remember what maybe not so much what happened, but what it meant. You agree?
I totally agree. I will never forget the lesson of September 11th, but I fear certainly this administration and too many Americans have. Radical Islam poses an enormous threat to us here in New York and anywhere in America. And the fact that it's in Iraq or Syria or Afghanistan doesn't protect us. And right now, ISIS has greater capability to carry out attacks against America than Al-Qaeda did on September 10th. And I think we have to completely revise this administration's strategy, rebuild our military, work with our allies, and destroy Radical Islam's ability to attack us here in the Middle East before they do carry out another attack.
Where were you when you heard the first plane had hit?
I was in the city. I had stayed in the city the night before, and I remember my daughter called me and said, "Dad, turn on the TV, a plane hit the towers." And she was kind of rattled, and we kept talking. And then I saw the second plane, and I immediately knew we were under a terrorist attack. And I talked to Rudy. I called the president, got him at the education summit.
You and the president had spoken many times before that public phone call.
Oh, that's right. That morning at the education summit, I talked to the president. And as he was flying west in Air Force One, he and I were talking. I'll never forget one comment. The communication was terrible. And he just goes, "Pataki, now I understand what they mean by the fog of war." And it was the fact that it was almost impossible to communicate. Even in the 21st century with this sophisticated technology, it was hard to communicate.
We know the firefighters had that trouble, but even you had it with the president.
Yeah, the president had it. But we did communicate, and I'm proud of how well the feds, the city, the state, and the American people all came together.
Governor, great to see you, and thank you very much for sharing today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Governor
Steve.
George Pataki. Next, we'll watch for George Pataki in the debate on CNN next week, and his quest for the Republican presidential nomination. Check out GeorgePataki.com. We'll have more of the show coming up. Don't go away. All right, folks, the national polls consistently showing Ben Carson at number 2 behind Donald Trump. And now you could get your copy of Ben Carson's book, One Nation, absolutely free. Call that number you see on your screen, 800-655-7567, or go to that website, newsmax.com/Ben. It's a great book, great chance to get it for free.